Well, today you're listening to Monday with the Mayor here on 18 WJTS, and today we're on the phone with Ferdinand Town Manager Chris James. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for calling in, Ann. Appreciate always the chance to be on and talk Ferdinand.
So you guys recently got a grant for some new AEDs for the police department.
We've got kind of doubly blessed on the AED units. We received late last year that we work with in terms of safety training and through workers' compensation coverage, and they had a grant program opportunity for us last year where it was basically a 75-25 split. They would cover 75% of the cost. The town picked up the other 25%, and so we applied for $4,800 for a total of $6,000 to go toward the purchase of 4 AED units to be placed in town. One would be installed at Ferdinand Town Hall. We would also have one kind of permanently installed at the Ferdinand Police Station, and then we have 2 others that will be put in at a couple of the off-site athletic fields on the backside of 5th Street Park. We've got a soccer complex and a football facility. I'm in the process of shopping, if you want, on specific functions that we want to have with those units. So we're very fortunate they came back and gave us the blessings for those dollars. So IPEP is kicking up $4,800. The town will contribute the remaining $1,200 to go toward the purchase of those units. And kind of simultaneously, as we had applied for that grant, Memorial Hospital officials had made contact with Chief Froman at the police department about donating some additional AED units. And so we're getting, I believe it's 3 additional AED devices for the police department. There will be one, we'll have a separate unit that will travel with our night shift officer of the day, whoever that will be, and then we would have an additional unit on station as a spare, if you will, depending on who's out and about or what circumstances arise. So we're very fortunate to not get just the ones through the grant, but the very gracious donation from Memorial Hospital for some of those units. They're still functioning perfectly good AED devices. The hospital's doing an upgrade, and we're looking for new homes for some of those devices, and we're very happy to take 3 of those off of their hands to help our officers out as they're on patrol day or night, weekday, weekend, holiday, whatever the case might be, in the event of a medical emergency where we don't have an opportunity for EMTs to be there right immediately. Our officers will have the ability to use those devices if need be. So we're trying to expand our web of safety coverage within town, and very fortunate, again, to receive the grant and then also get the donation from Memorial Hospital for those devices. And we are happy to have them. We hope that we never have to use them, but we'd rather have them and go unused than have a need for one and not have a device available. So we're trying to be as safety conscious as we can with those devices.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of projects, there's a lot of work going to be happening at the Old Town Lake.
That is true. We actually were able to kind of speed the schedule up a little bit. The town received a $50,000 3-year grant from the Du Bois County Community Foundation in 2020. Those dollars, coupled with private donations from individuals in the public, are actually allowing the park board to speed up the next phase out at the Old Town Lake. We've got the trail in place, and it has been used heavily since it officially opened 4th of July weekend of 2020, and we anticipate additional usage once the weather becomes nice enough to get out and walk around without dealing with ice or snow or bitter cold temperatures. We are in the process right now of lowering our lake level. We are going to be constructing late winter, early spring, depending on whether you look at the calendar or go by how meteorologists decide the seasons, but probably in the March range, we will start construction on a fishing pier that is going to be created in the memory of Jim Bouncer Olinger, a longtime Ferdinand resident, very involved with multiple projects over the decades. He recently passed away in 2020, and his family got together, reached out to our park board, and said, what can we do to help with one of these projects? And they were able to discuss the financial part of it, and so the Olinger family is providing the funding toward that fishing pier, and we are also at the same time that is going to be constructed, we're going to be creating a kayak launch at the Old Town Lake. Right now, folks, I don't know if they just kind of go off the bank to launch themselves or if they use the boat ramp. I've never kayaked, so I'm not sure the exact process for doing that, but we're going to be creating a kayak launch as well to provide better opportunity for folks to fish at the lake, and then also if they want to get out, whether it's for exercise or meditation purposes, they can launch a kayak and be out in the lake and just kind of bask in the scenery and the glory of that part of town right behind the Sisters of St. Benedict. Great view there, and just out in nature. So those projects will be coming up later on in the winter or early springtime. As I mentioned, we're lowering the lake level so that we can get in and really solidly plant the foundation, the footings for the pier. Also, once the level drops a little bit more, we're going to do some touch-up work, if you will, to the boat ramp. When the lake level was down for the construction of the trail, the footbridges on the trail, we noticed there was a considerable drop-off at the end of the boat ramp. Right now, it's not really an issue, but depending on as you back your trailer up to launch the boat, if you go a little too far back, you could damage your trailer or boat. So once the level drops a little bit further, we're going to go in and put in some riprap and other rock to kind of level that out and remove the drop-off and make it a smoother exit point into the water. Or once you back your trailer in to get your boat loaded up and back out of the water to help that cause as well. So still some additional touch-up work to do on that, and just move it forward. We're very happy, obviously, with the foundation grant. We're going to be applying last year and this year's portions of the money also toward these projects. So we're trying as best we can to get the Old Town Lake up to snuff as our official third park in Ferdinand. It's kind of got that designation now, but just trying to add to the amenities. I know we're still on the drawing board for the creation of a restroom and storage building. Eventually that will be constructed. That's an additional item in another phase of the park project out there as well. And we're also starting to take a little bit closer look how to connect Old Town Lake and that trail with the trails that we have up at 18th Street Park, which if you access there can follow sidewalks across the highway and will eventually connect down to 5th Street. So we're trying to further extend the connectivity of our facilities here in town. So we're looking forward to a very busy spring with those items and whatever else may come out of the woodwork, literally, in terms of growth and development here in Ferdinand throughout 2021.
Wow, you guys have a lot going on, sounds like.
It's going to be another productive year if everything holds to course. I don't have any reason to think otherwise. Last year, dealing with the virus as everybody did, we were still very busy with housing the subdivision for Country Ridge Estates and some other internal homes, the work at the former Jasper Seating Facility, now the Universal Packaging plant. Lots of stuff still happened in 2020, virus or otherwise. And we're hopeful the virus will start to fade out of front of mind activity as we get into summertime and still push forward with more progress here in town. So, yes, 2021 is going to hopefully be another very busy year for us here in Ferdinand.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Ann. Always happy to talk about Ferdinand and get a chance to talk with you, and maybe eventually in the near future we'll be able to sit down face to face once again for one of these little chats.
Yes. Well, thanks for tuning in. This is Monday with the Mayor here on 18 WJTS, and today we've been on the phone with Ferdinand Town Manager Chris James. Thanks for tuning in. This is 18 WJTS, local people watching local people.